Welcome. As we celebrate together, we hope this video speaks to you and is useful in your efforts to celebrate, elevate, and call folks to the movement. Our goal is that it represents the dynamic, diverse, and evolving nature of our field and our movement. We've all traveled less physical miles, had our routines and expectations upended, but yet we persist. We bring all we've got for our young people because it's in our core purpose, but also because we know the way their lives have been disrupted and challenged. We know that relationship can help turn adversity into discovery and activism, while isolation and disconnection can compound trauma and injustice. While this may be our North Star, it is the miles on the way that give us renewed energy and inspiration. I reflect on the record-breaking technical assistance requested by the field and that our affiliates and other partners provided to meet changing conditions. Think about that. In a year in which lives were upended, we faced fits and starts and tried to get our footing, only to be set back at times. When no one would have blamed us for retreating, you advanced. You saw continuous improvement. You saw community. You sought to adapt and meet the moment for and with our young people. And it's represented in the 2,000 of you with us for this summit that had to pivot only 3 short weeks ago. And while demands on the government were many, you advocated for our young people. And we reached highs in state and federal funds for mentoring, making the case that now more than ever, we can't leave connection to chance. We created new resources and evolved others on everything from diversity, equity, and inclusion to youth leadership, to mentoring mindsets and skills for all adults. We released a new research agenda to guide funders and policymakers around our field and how we can best meet this moment. We deepened our work with so many of you to better prioritize, design, and integrate relationships into schools and workplaces to drive equity and improved results. We reimagined our mentoring connector to better connect potential volunteers to your organizations and to represent emerging virtual options as well. And we launched new campaigns with partners like the Ready Set campaign to call folks to be a part of student support networks. We also launched our newest affiliate, Mentor Georgia, after years of planting seeds with partners. And as is core to this movement, none of this was done in isolation. From investment to insights, to distribution, to customization, I could list hundreds of people and partners who made this work real and will continue to. We are truly the sum of our parts, and we try to model that in our approach and our strategy. I want to share one final reflection that led to this next segment. Every time my assumptions are shaken, I am reminded of some of mentoring's best tenets. Earlier this year, I stood before one of my very first in-person gatherings as our great affiliate Mentor Maryland held a launch event for their expansion into DC. I was searching to make some meaning of the moment, and the words began to flow. I reflected on having become obsessed with the idea of a watershed moment, a flip switch in which this pandemic and all its impacts would flow away. But as I thought about mentoring and movements and what they have to teach us and what we coach mentors around, I realized I'd fallen into a trap. Our lives, our great collective pursuits, are not about these big dramatic moments or instant transformations. If we seek our sense of energy there, we will mostly feel deflated. It is the accumulation of moments, of steps, both backward, forward, and sideways, that make up a life, that account for our growth, for our progress. The real question is simply who will mark those miles with us and whether we have anyone on that journey. All of you make that real. No matter the twists and turns, you do so for and with our young people, families, communities, and this movement.